All right. Thank you. And thank you guys for being here tonight. I am so excited to share just a brief little snippet of my testimony and to have Julia host with us. Julia is my friend that I have met through Plexus. She was a blessing that I didn't even realize I needed. And she is also an RN. And so she has lots that she can share with us. So I just want to say that with my testimony, I'm gonna start by saying I have been up since 4:40 this morning. I walked with two different friends. I worked all day. I went and got my hair done after work. I met Brittany to go furniture shopping. I grabbed a salad in the drive-through. I came home and I'm still going. I would have never been able to do that before Plexus.
Yeah.
So the difference with I have started their triplex, and the difference in my sleep and my energy, my blood sugar levels are in check. It has just been a huge game changer for me. So, the community, like I said with Julia, that was a blessing I didn't even know that I needed. And health wise, I just can't say enough good. So now I'm going to turn it over to Julia to share with us all of her wisdom.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love you. And your testimony is such an incredible blessing to me. So my name is Julia. I am a registered nurse, been a registered nurse who worked in the hospital acute care, critical care setting for the last 23 years. And I came across Plexus and gut health in general back in 2021. My husband and I actually had heard about it before. We had started looking into some of it, and just enough to know that it's actually really important. But my friend hit me up because I was really struggling at the time. I was working, I mean, we're thinking, 2021, everybody in the medical system. So I was exhausted. I was working a lot of hours. I was working a lot of nights. And I wasn't probably being as kind to my body because I was working nights. I was eating a lot of junk food because it was late. I was tired. I needed something to keep me awake. I was drinking more energy drinks than I'd like to admit, Monsters, occasionally, but most of the time I was drinking the little add-in flavors from like Walmart and stuff like that have a lot of aspartame in them. And I had already been on heartburn medicine for years. And I was noticing the further we got into the year, I was having a lot more anxiety. I was starting to have migraines, and I had never had issues with migraines before in my lifetime, maybe one as a child, but that is it. But then I was noticing my heartburn was getting so bad. I was having to medicate myself, take two of my medications instead of just one. And so it was one of those things that when Cassie posted something about an energy drink, I was like, you know what? If we're going to be drinking energy drinks, we might as well take something that's actually beneficial and it's more natural than doing what we're doing, because I can tell it's tearing up my body. And so I sampled a couple days of her products and could tell a huge difference in how much better I felt. And this was just energy stuff. So I really didn't have a whole lot of information in regards to the gut health side of it. And to be quite honest, I didn't even realize that Plexus was gut health at that point. Cassie had talked to me about Plexus for 6 years at that point. And she had just kind of dripped on me and was like, hey, you should try this. And I'm like, sure, one of these days. But as you get to know me a little bit, you'll realize my husband and I have always been very much into the health and wellness side of things. I am a huge proponent that medication should be used for a short period of time while we figure out what your issue is, and then we address that root cause, and then hopefully slowly get you off of your medication. I firmly believe that most medications, out of all medications, probably 90% should be short-term medications. And being able to allow your body to heal the way that it was supposed to heal. I've felt that way for many years. That is the way I went into medicine thinking too. But that was one of those things whenever it came up, I asked Cassie because she talked about the pink drink, and I was like, I am not into fad diets. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to change your health, you have to work hard and it has to be a lifestyle change. it's not going to be something that's a quick fix. I despised the idea of that. And so as she started educating me more, she started talking about, have you ever heard of gut health? What do you take for your gut health? And then I realized that the pink drink, which is something that I spent a long time avoiding taking because I thought it was a quick weight loss drink, come to find out they're prebiotics. I had no idea for the longest time that they were prebiotics. And now that I know, I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. That's actually really good for us. So it's good things, obviously, that I've learned now. But as I started digging into gut health, honestly, I went to a training to learn more about the products as to why they were making me feel so good. Because as a nurse, I was like, oh my gosh, all of my night shift people need these 100%. Like that was like my first thought. And so she invited me to a training. And honestly, guys, I cannot tell you what the heck they talked about at the training. But what I do know is I sat there and listened to testimony after testimony after testimony of people who have healed from diseases that in the medical field we never think of healing from. We only think about medicating for the rest of their lives. And I'm talking about autoimmune diseases, colitis issues, irritable bowel issues, endometriosis. Who would have ever thought that endometriosis was something that was related to the gut? That is my dear friend Cassie. That is her personal testimony. And I've known her for so long. I knew she had it, had no idea that the way she got rid of it was through gut health. So just know that gut health is incredibly powerful, and really what we are living in the day and age that we live in, there is so many things that are going against us for gut health. And that's why I'm super grateful for the supplements, because they help to equip us to help take care of that. So I'm going to cover a little bit of everything here. Remember, I'm a nurse, I'm not tech savvy. So you're going to go with me through my phone so I can share with you a couple little or not videos, but like graphics to give you some perspective that really helped me. So forgive me, this looks a little, questionable, but I promise it's nothing crazy. It's just my phone pictures. This picture right here, this graphic, was really, really powerful when I first started and starting to learn about gut health, because like I said, I really, in nursing school, we're not taught about gut health or what all is connected to it. And so when I started looking into it and started reading over these things, I was shocked at how many of these issues are related to the gut and that I had, because I truly have always been accused of being a healthy person. I always thought I was a fairly healthy person, but I also thought my IBS symptoms were genetic, and my heartburn was just something I had to deal with because I was getting older. And all of the things that we tell ourselves as time goes on is one of those things that you're just like, you know what? Maybe this isn't because I'm getting older, and maybe there is something I can do about this. And 100% I'm here to tell you there completely is. The other thing that I really like to share here, and I'm going to pop this one up here because it blew my mind on some of it. This is information about probiotics. One of the things I hear all the time, and I was also in this category, is I already take probiotics. And I'm like, that's awesome. I love that you acknowledge the fact that your gut health is important. I was doing the exact same thing, but I could not tell you what it changed about me. I was on probiotics for years. I still had IBS issues. I still had constipation irregularly. I still had heartburn. I may have been less bloated and a little bit more regular, but none of my other health issues were changing. And when I started looking into why gut health is so important, a couple of things really caught my attention. Number one, as you can see on this slide right here, it says 70 to 90% of our immune system is located in our gut. And I was completely shocked by that. Like that was something I had no idea. But if you look around and you see what we eat as a society, how little of sleep that we get, how busy we are, and truly the fact of getting good nutrition is very minimal, or maybe in one meal of the day that we're actually getting good nutrition from the whole rest of the day. And you look at that and you're like, okay, well, if our immune systems are built in our gut, it's no wonder that a lot of us are really sick, because our guts are probably not really well taken care of. even if they have probiotics on board. So that was something. The other couple things is number one, 90% of your serotonin levels are created in your gut. So again, anxiety, depression on the skyrocket, not a huge shocker there because look at what we're putting into our guts, right? And if we're not addressing our gut health, that's a big deal. I will tell you one of the things that really shook my heart was back last summer, I volunteered for a middle school camp, and I want to say about 80, I helped as a nurse there. And so, of course, I was taking medications for kids. 80%, we literally had a line go outside of the gymnasium to the parking lot of parents who were giving us our ADHD medications and our anxiety and depression medications. Like, those are two factors that can be helped with nutrition. Both of them, 100%. I've seen it with my own eyes. And I am shocked at how often we just medicate our kids and we're okay with it. Yes, we definitely need to medicate them to get help. And I 100% agree with that. But we also need to be addressing some of the root causes, and we could potentially make that better and either decrease their medication. Some of my clients personally have completely come off their medications. So it just depends on how their bodies are. And when they're younger like that, they have a higher potential of coming off of their meds if we address the root problem. So big, big deal. The other thing that I love to think about is what is microbiome, right? Microbiome is basically, it starts in your rectum, in your vagina, in your uterus, in your bladder, goes up into your intestines. It is coating your esophagus, it's coating your trachea, goes up into your mouth, it comes out your mouth, and it's all over your skin. So you are literally more microbiome than you are any other organ in your body. And if you think about that, why wouldn't we take care of it? It's not a big surprise that it's connected to a lot of different things in our body, right? Like that was something that when one of the endocrine, or not the endocrine, gastroenterologist was talking, they're like, with because the company, they specialize in gut health, which again, from a medical perspective, that's phenomenal. When you are addressing a specialty area, you should always see a specialist. I tell people in OB that all the time when I work up at the hospital. I'm like, if you are pregnant, you should see a specialty OB because there are certain things they just know better. And if there's an emergency, you want them to know that, right? Same with like endocrinology. Like if you're a diabetic, you would go to an endocrinologist to get, your medication because they know all the top things. Even in your supplementation, you guys, you should always be looking. There's a lot of companies out there that try to spread their fingers into every facet to try to cover every avenue and try to be able to sell things to every avenue. But here at Plexus, we don't try to sell things to people. We try to help affect their health and make them feel better, because truly what we're in it for is more of a transformation. We're not in for a transaction. We want people to feel better and to notice that they can live better in their lives. And 100%, that's exactly why all of us are here tonight. One of the other things that I like to share, and I'm going to go back to my hair. Oh, I always bump that one. Sorry, guys. Hold on. For some reason, the word box likes to just pop by my finger. So this is one of the things that anybody that I ever start on with either my clients, I don't think I told you that, but instead of working at the hospital full time anymore, I actually do nurse coaching from home. And so I get to walk side by side with clients and help them heal naturally. And Plexus is a big part of what I use in that regimen because gut health is so huge in it. And so when it comes to clients or customers, whether it be through Plexus or my God-led health coaching business, I start patients and highly encourage them always to start on our triplex. The triplex, one of the beautiful things that I feel with Plexus is the fact that their board, the people that come up with these supplements, are like my perfect world medical system. You have doctors, you have naturopaths, you have herbalists, nutritionalists, and dietitians that are all working together. What world does this happen in? Apparently just in Plexus, because I know that my doctor doesn't want to talk to my naturopath or my chiropractor or any of those people because, their road is always the right road. But it's beautiful when they can all work together because they come up with things that we make magic with. I mean, I don't know how else to say that, but it's a little dramatic, but that's how I feel about it, because never have I ever, I've taken supplements for many years, never have I ever seen supplement regimen transform people's health like I have with these products. And it's been incredible. So the triplex that we have, the regimen is the foundational product that Plexus has, and it is their gut health regimen. It comes with 3 products. Number 1, their ProBio 5, which is their probiotic. And I'll tell you how that's a little bit different than the ones that we'll get at the store here in just a second. The second product is called BioCleanse. It is a combination of magnesium, citric acids, and bioflavones that help to get cellular in your body and help flush out toxins and inflammation from your system. It has a bad rap for its name because everybody freaks out when you hear the word cleanse, but I promise it is not the fact that it's going to rush right through you. You will take it, not notice it for a few days, but it helps to literally cleanse your system, like from toxins. The third thing is that beautiful pink drink that I avoided for so long. I actually have it right here tonight. It is your prebiotic that feeds on your probiotic. And why, do you ask me, is your probiotic so much better, Julia, than the ones that you can get at the store? And I can 100% assure you that it is, because I know for a fact, I used to take a good probiotic, you guys. It was in the refrigerator section. It was $40. It was from Natural Grocers. Like, I can tell you, it is one of the probably more expensive ones, because I'm like, well, surely it's good, right? I mean, there's 80 bajillion, billion, whatever probio things in there. Well, so, but it wasn't doing a whole lot for me. It sure as heck wasn't transforming my health. And so one of the biggest things, so Candida yeast, this is fun. Candida yeast is the biggest culprit and what causes a lot of people to be sick over time. It is also the biggest culprit that causes you and I to have cravings. So to the left here, you see an intestinal tract, and you see all that white stuff that's coating it. Well, those are little patches of yeast that has been built up by these little guys on the right. They're called they're intestinal roaches is what they are. So you are full of bugs. I'm sorry to inform you that if you didn't know this ahead of time, but we are full of good bugs and bad bugs, right? And we have a great way to stay healthy if we're full of more good bugs. But when the bad bugs start to be more prominent than the good bugs, that's when we get sick. Okay. So what happens is our ProBio 5 has a specific ingredient in it called chitinase. And what it does is on those little black bugs, and ours is one of the only ones on the market that I have ever heard of to have that product in it. But it is so important because you can clear out a lot of different yeast out of your system with regular probiotics. But if you want to get candida, candida sticks, and it has those little bugs all over it. And if you don't break the shells of those little bugs to help pull them out of your system and flush them out, you will still have candida in there because they will continue to eat all of the sugar, all of the carbohydrates that you eat, and they will continue to build yeast in your system. And so the chitinase that is in the ProBio 5 breaks apart those hard shells and gets those bugs and flushes them. It actually kills them and it flushes them out of your system. So that is why our ProBio 5 and our probiotic is better than the majority of the ones you'll find on the market. I've never found one that has that in it. So you probably won't be able to convince me that ours isn't the best, but that's okay. I'm just biased. But I will also say that inside of our probiotic is a digestive enzymes too. So there's a lot of different good things in those. A couple things that we have through the company that I really like to talk about at this point in time. Gut health is so important. Anytime you have gut health, it's not a quick fix, and nor do I promote it as that, because number one, I'd be lying. And number two, it doesn't do you any benefit to think you're going to be better in a month. So the beautiful part, our company is super generous and they have a 60-day money back guarantee. Do I think all your problems are going to go away in 60 days? Absolutely not. I would also be lying if I said that. But you can ask any physician or even any doctor, naturopath, any doctors. Whenever you start a new supplement regimen, you should typically give it 3 to 6 months before you start seeing actual health changes. And I firmly stick beside that, but I also know that the company has a 60-day money back guarantee. So what I tell all of my people is if you have to give it just 60 days, then give it 60 days, but know that you're not going to be probably a lot better, but you will definitely notice some changes within 60 days. But it's a beautiful way because they are very good. They don't ask any questions. They're just like, you want your money back? Okay, it's coming. And they work it out that way. So that is something that's a really big blessing. The other thing that they have is a product called the Reset Box. And the Reset Box I love because the Reset Box is actually a detox box. When it first came out, I wasn't not sure I was going to be a huge fan because, again, not a huge proponent of quick weight loss gimmicks. And I was afraid that's where we were headed, but it is actually very beneficial to your system. So what we have found is people who start with the reset before they start with the triplex actually decreases their time that they spend detoxing. So the detox box is exactly what it is. It's not going to send you into poop mode or anything like that, but it does basically you're trading out food for nutrition for 3 days and you're just filling your body with nutrition, and then you start your gut health products. And we have found because of that detoxing that you do for 3 days, most people don't have near as severe of detox with their supplements. And I say severe, I don't mean it like in a bad way. I'm talking like headache, maybe a lot more pooping than usual, or a little bit of bloating. It is not something that you should be afraid of. It is a good thing because that means that the supplements are working and they're pulling out toxins and inflammation, things that you want to get out of your system. Lastly here, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. Michelle has probably mentioned this to you, Ashley. We have a Hard 30 coming up. It's a challenge that we're hosting, and it is such a fun challenge. It is something that we are going to do through the month of October. So this is a great way to jump on board. It'll show you, we will have an accountability group with it. We're going to be doing this all together. We're going to have workouts provided that are home workouts in case you're new at working out, even if you're just walking for 30 minutes a day. Totally okay. Everybody starts at their own level, and that's what we want to celebrate with you. We're going to be making sure we're hydrating, taking our supplements consistently. We will also have meal plans provided. If you don't know what you think of a healthy meal, we could totally help you with some of that. But this is a really good opportunity to not only see the community, which is amazing, but to also really have that accountability. Feel free to bring your friends too. This has been showing to be a huge need. We have so many people that are asking for this program, that are excited about this program, and that are getting ready to jump in with us. And I'm so pumped about that. And we're going to have some giveaways in there too. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you are ready to get started, it's a great way to do it. One of the things that I always share, I would be amiss if I didn't share because it's changed my life. And
What do I say? What do I say? What's the title? What do I say? Yeah, for the 28th. What is today's date? Did I tell you on Monday about the 28th? Look at this article. They're telling you that they're going to be ready to use the electronic tape.
Not sure. Julia, can you hear us?
Texas, one of my biggest problems was income. And I was very nervous because I couldn't even think about spending an extra $50 a month on our family budget, not to mention the cost of the products. The triplex is what I was going to start, and it's $140 a month. And I was like, I'm going to have to talk about this because there's no way I can add that to my budget. Literally, you guys, it didn't take me but 2 weeks to get my products paid for because so many people are hurting. Even when they look healthy, like I did, nobody would have ever known I had terrible heartburn, anxiety, IBS issues. Nobody would have ever known. But I am so glad my friend didn't look at my outside and judge me on that and be like, you never know who this can help, right? And so I started talking about it, and I have had the absolute pleasure of replacing my nursing income with just this company. That doesn't even talk about my coaching company, but this company has been an incredible blessing to me. And I'm not saying it does that for everybody. That may not be what you want it for. Maybe you just need $200 to $300 a month. There was a study that was done not too long ago that was talking about here in the next few years, when student loans start coming back in and interest rates start going up again, that $200 to $300 and up to $500 a month could keep families from going bankrupt. And I'm like, I can totally do that for every single person, like easily, by helping people feel better. It is an incredible opportunity, but it is also an incredible blessing to be able to get that text and be like, thank you so much for sharing this with me. I haven't had a headache in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Just as some of the best days when I get those, it's the best. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and then I'll ask and see if anybody has questions here. This is one of my favorite pictures that really, to me, I think all of us can kind of look at and relate to a little bit. And this, as you can see, is somebody who knows on the inside what her worth is and what she's working towards, but she knows that she has some work to do. And I find this picture just so motivating and empowering at the same time, because this is all of us, right? Like, we all have different things in our health, especially, that we can work on, that we can get better on. There are things that people don't know that we deal with. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's depression, but we need help getting out of that. Maybe it's just the community that you need. That's a couple of the girls that I've brought on. It's all it is. It's just the community that they needed. And that's okay. You know, we all need each other for certain things. And that picture just always resonates with me, because I'm like, that's exactly what we always should be doing. We should always be the goal of bettering ourselves in some form or fashion, right? That is basically kind of what I like to share during these. And I want to make sure, I know we started a little bit late, so I apologize. It's right at, 20 minutes or so, but I want to leave it open. If you guys have, Jen and Lisa, if you either of you have questions, I would be honored to answer your questions if you guys have questions right now. And if you don't want to talk, you can put them in the chat as well. There's a chat at the bottom there, and you're welcome to add those into there.
I don't mind talking. This is Lisa.
Hi.
I guess my biggest struggle, and I shared this with Michelle, is I have a disease called gastroparesis. So I don't know if you know. Okay, so I'm the only person in Oregon with this particular type, but for some reason my body not only struggles to digest anything, it shuts down when liquid enters my stomach. It will just shut down and stop working for a while. So that just makes it hard. If anything's liquid, then it'll make me really sick, because my stomach doesn't move, then pills just sit in it. And then most of the time I'm nauseous, so I don't hardly eat anything, which makes me gain weight because I'm not getting enough nutrition.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you do for your health right now with your gastroparesis? Because I know you were talking about you're drinking soup. So how does that, how is that different than?
Because I put crackers in it. So the crackers absorb the liquid, and then I can take it in a little bit better. I have a port, so I go in every like 2 to 3 weeks to get liquid.
Fusions.
I had a procedure called pyloroplasty, where they made the hole between my stomach and my small intestines bigger.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't solve the getting the stomach to move. So yeah, you talked about medicine. So I'm on a really harsh medicine called Linzess. It's completely horrible, but it was either that or die. Basically, that was where I was at with the gastroparesis, and this was before the surgery. So, mostly I'm just really careful what I eat, and I take meds for nausea, and yeah, it's tough because
when
makes
you
a lot
talk about being able to take, so you take meds. So how
right.
do the meds absorb in your system? Does it take them a long time?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So,
So my thought for you obviously would definitely be the triplex. I mean, I was looking up here because we have a reference sheet on one of our pages that I was going to type in here. But I can look up some information because I don't want to take your time doing that tonight, but I can look up specifically some information. We also have multiple doctors that I talked about on our board and that sort of thing. And I am happy to contact them and see what they would be potentially beneficial to you. Because the last thing I want to do is get you into something where you're wasting your money and I've told you the wrong thing. Right. So
right.
I want to make sure that I do believe these could be beneficial for you. I want to make sure I'm right on telling you which ones. The thing that I really like about the supplements is they are capsules. And so I have had people take them in like yogurt before, and that could be an
Yeah,
option because you can absorb it a little bit quicker that way. Because it's
right.
not in the capsule, your body's not having to break down the capsule, and the yogurt is solid-ish. Do you do
Right.
okay with yogurt and applesauce and stuff
Uh,
like that?
oh no, I don't do applesauce at all. Yogurt is tricky. If I put blueberries in it, it will go down easier. If I eat it, I don't know why. If I eat it by itself, it'll come back up. So it's just really bizarre what my body
Well, and
has
it doesn't have to
decided
be,
it likes and doesn't. Yeah.
and it's funny how our bodies do that. It doesn't have to be either of those. I'm just saying you could even put it on a piece of bread I mean, you said you try to stay away from carbs, but just you could put it on a piece of food that you normally eat and just take
Yeah.
it within a bite of it. And I bet you would still be able to get the nutrients of it because it's going to absorb in your system because it's not in a capsule. And then the
Yeah.
drink side of it, there is definitely, I have had people drink it like a pixie stick before. I feel like it would be really sweet, but it is possible. I do know that. And it's because it's the probiotic or the prebiotics is why they're like, well, I just needed to get it down. I didn't, whatever. But
Yeah.
that is always an option. But again, I would like to reach out to some of the medical professionals that we have that do this on a regular basis and see what they think would be best for you. If that's okay, if I have your
Okay.
permission to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. So it's all,
Awesome.
I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years now, but it took 2 years to figure out what it was. So,
Yeah, that's a
you know,
hard one, especially when you
I
get a
spent,
diagnosis as an adult.
yeah, I spent 2 years being told I was fat and I needed to eat more fruits and vegetables, which I continue to do, but raw fruits and vegetables don't digest. And so then I threw them up so much that I lost all my teeth into the
Oh
second year
man.
of it.
Oh, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I
pretty
will say
awful. So,
I don't know how this would go for you, but we do have some incredible greens that are fermented and made with kombucha. They're not a liquid, they're in a powder form. It could be something that you
okay.
mix into something to be able to get some nutrients through those also. So, but
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
these are just all my thoughts going as to my nurse brain kicks in and I'm like, how can I help fix this? Like,
Yeah. I know everybody wants to fix it.
I know
So,
everybody wants to help you feel better.
yeah.
But I would be honored to ask those questions for you and see if I can pinpoint some good education and information. I would love to learn it as well. And see if
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
something that
great.
could be beneficial to you. And then what does
Okay.
your
I
husband struggle with? I
appreciate
know you had said that he had struggled too.
my son. Oh, it's not a gut thing. He has hyperhidrosis
Oh,
and we don't know why, and it's causing some pretty severe side effects for him. And of course, they're medicating it because they won't do, I mean, yeah, because they won't do the Botox, which I think
yeah.
that they were going to do to help. So yeah, he's on this nasty medicine that ends up giving him more side effects, and yeah,
Okay.
it it's hard. It makes it basically dehydrates him because it makes
Yeah.
his body
Because
stop
it
sweating,
plays
and he's
out.
18, so
I'll
that's
have to
not a good
see.
thing.
So that is one of those things that can actually be triggered by hormones. I don't know if
That's what
they've,
we've had a ton tested. We've done like every test the doctor could think of, but
uh-huh.
I still don't think they've tested enough.
So
So
hormones are largely affected by the gut. So I would be curious to see if this is something that could potentially, if nothing less, help it. Just knowing the mechanism of how hormones are, what's the word, balanced, that a lot of them are balanced in
Right.
the gut. And so if there's an abnormality there, or if he's off in some manner of that, just a thought. It's just something that's kind of going through my
Yeah.
head. So
Yeah. The biggest thing with him would be getting it in him because he's very particular about
how old is he?
18.
Okay.
So 18 going on. Well, he's in the room, so I can't say it, but my mom, yeah, my mom told me, or somebody told me, when you, my friend, when they become teenagers, you subtract 10, and that's really the age they're at.
That's
And I
that's
was
funny.
like, yep,
Probably
that sounds about
especially with
right.
boys.
Oh gosh, yeah. He's my good one though, so I'm very thankful for him. My other
That's-
two were hellions on wheels and very difficult. So he's
That's
good.
funny. Well, I will
Yeah.
say that I mean, it is an option. I know they're capsules, so there's no taste to them, at least in that manner. So that could be something that could be beneficial to him if he's willing to try something other than medication.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be anything that would replace his medication right away, obviously, because it would be a process. But it's, it's an option. So, but
Yeah.
I
You
would,
talked about medicine for ADHD, and his
Mm.
whole life I was bugged. And even the last year, the year before, asked over and over, why don't you medicate him? Why don't you medicate him? Why don't you medicate him? Because I didn't feel like he had ADHD. Finally, we had an evaluation done, and they said, no, it's not ADHD, it's anxiety. And so I'm so glad I never put him on the meds, because I did with my older son, and I regret it to this day. Like, it was bad.
yeah,
So, but they pressure you with boys, especially
yeah.
if
Well,
they're
in the
at all
school,
energetic.
I've
Yeah.
noticed in the schools anymore, the teachers are very much that way. I've heard a couple parents say that, well, my teacher kept saying they need
Right.
medication. And I'm like, don't tell me when my kid needs this. Like,
I know,
no
and
offense,
it's really
but
against the law for them to say anything.
right. Yeah.
So, but
Like,
I've had teachers too. So, well,
yeah.
my son, speaking of being good, he's cooking dinner and we're going to watch a show. So,
Oh,
I'm
enjoy.
gonna,
Well, I will make sure to
yeah.
give information that I find out to Michelle, and she'll pass that along to you. So
Okay, sounds
it
good.
was great to talk
I'm
with you, though.
assuming,
Thanks,
yeah, bye,
Lisa. Take
Michelle. I'll talk
care.
to you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I think Michelle Jen said that she had to pop off, so she popped off.
Okay.
So I'm going to stick, before we jump off of here, let me get Jen and Lisa. And who was the other gal that was on for a very short period of time?
Jana Anderson.
Hannah?
Jana. Jana. Yep.
That's right. Okay.
And she is a VIP. She's doing her first reset right now.
Oh, okay. Well, no wonder, as Gary says, she's probably like, I just want to go to bed. Okay. So let's sit here. We'll do Jana and Lisa and Jen, right?
Yep. Because you're doing the
Okay.
drawing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm remembering people. Good things. Oh, I should. Oh, well, that's okay. Oh, it's Lisa.
Oh,
Yay. Awesome. If you will get her email address for me, I will
Okay.
shoot her over that gift card today.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then if
Awesome.
do you want to send out samples, or would you like me to?
I can do it. I don't know.
I just put them in an envelope and I send it to them.
Okay. Active?
Like,
Does it
yeah,
matter?
I typically do an active and a hydrate.
Okay. Yeah, I
So if
should
you,
have enough.
okay. And if you don't, I'm happy to send them. You just tell me.
I don't know Jen.
Okay.
So I'm happy to
She was
do
my
that.
girl.
Oh, is that yours? Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Do you want to send her a sample?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
She already messaged me anyway and wants to know more about the products.
Okay. Perfect.
Nice.
So you must have said something that she liked.
Good. Hey, Ashley, why don't you when she starts asking questions, say, hang tight. Why don't you let me get you in a three-way with Julia and you can ask her questions since she didn't have a chance to do that on here.
Okay,
Hey.
I can do that. I gotta go. Answering services calling me because I have a patient. Bye.
Good
Oh,
luck.
Yeah,
Not past
bye.
11.
Right.
Love
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bless her heart, man.
Poor thing. Did you stop recording?
Oh no, I haven't. Let's do that.